Hey, I am editing this video at like 4 a.m. and I'm just now realizing I didn't put my face in this, like at all. I filmed this bookshelf tour and I didn't put my face in front of the camera once. So hello, hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back, okay? We're doing a bookshelf tour. I counted all my books for this, and I have 241 books. I've never counted my books before, and I did not think I had 241 books, but here we are. So this bookshelf tour is going to be showing you everything on every shelf, how I organize my books, every single book I have, like every single book, and all my little trinkets I have on my shelves as well. I'll be doing a voiceover while I show you everything. If there's any book in this video that you want me to talk about or make a deep dive video on or just share my opinion on, comment down below and I will let you know if I like the book or not, or if I've read it or not, okay? To keep this video from getting too long, I didn't go into too much detail about everything. Kind of kept it short and sweet, so if you're wanting more detail, use the comment section. As always, if you like this video, like it and subscribe to my channel for more content. This is the first shelf in my bookshelf. This one mostly holds like my little figurines, memoirs, and like my DVD and box set collections, and then the left side is mostly like my journals from over the years. And then these are my little figurines. They are collectibles, and yes, I did rip them out of the collector containers. They're my Buffy the Vampire Slayer figurines. I have all 6 of them. I think there's only 6 in this series, but I have all 6 of them. So, yay. And then I crocheted this little octopus once upon a time. And this is a blind box Hello Kitty thing that I got. I ended up getting the red panda, which was actually the one I wanted. So, super cute. And it comes in this cute little plastic container, so it's also a keychain. And then this is my Spike figurine. This one, low-key a little expensive. I got it on eBay, and yeah, I love it. It comes apart. You can take his jacket off too. And yes, I did rip it out of the original packaging, and like, I don't want to hear anything about that. I like to play with my collectibles. So, and then the rest of the shelf, like on the left side, is all of my journals and diaries and like miscellaneous. Some of them are used, some of them aren't. Most of them have at least half full. So like, I'll applaud myself for that, but they don't have like, not all of them are full. I did also go through a junk journal phase like in high school, and there's some spreads from that. I have like 3 of them, I think. Then I started transitioning into like journaling, and this was the first one that I started journaling in and not junk journaling, so I won't be showing the inside of this one. Actually, I have a few sketches I think I show. Yeah, a few sketches, but nothing crazy. This one's the morning pages. I started that this year. And then, of course, my box set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love this series. It's one of my favorites. I actually found all of these secondhand, like thrifted, Depop, eBay. I managed to get my hands on every season's DVD, so that was really cool. And then these ones I got at these books, which are essentially like, if you don't know, I'm still a little fuzzy on this, but the Buffy the Vampire Slayer books are like rewrites of certain episodes and also time jump spots. So like, if they, between seasons, you didn't get to see like a whole summer, so then the books kind of fill the blanks for that summer. So it's kind of cool. Not my favorite, honestly. I think it's a really YA written, and I'm not a huge fan of YA, so I mostly just have them for like collectible purposes, but not really for reading. I have read them though. They're just not my favorite, but I still keep them. And then of course I have my Stephen King memoir on writing. A lot of these are memoirs, so like Made. Daring Greatly is not a memoir, but I really like this book. It's on anxiety. It's I think a licensed social worker wrote it, but I really like this one. And then of course more memoirs. Men Who Hate Women is a nonfic. I would recommend this to you. I liked it. I thought it had a lot of information in it, but I also feel like as a woman, it's a lot of information that we already kind of know. So I would recommend it to you, but I don't think women need to be reading this. I think men need to be reading this, and men aren't watching this video. So, And then The Witching Year, I really like this book. This author, she goes through, I think it's a year, it's a whole year of her really diving into witchcraft and everything that that entails, and just documenting her entire experience. So as someone who's into witchcraft, I thought that was interesting. I did really enjoy The Third Gilmore Girl, and I'm glad my mom died, as well as Britney Spears' memoir as well. So this is the next shelf right below it. This one holds mostly some textbooks left over from another shelf that kind of spilled over. And then this is like my dark romance, funky romance, dark themes. What else? Like some fantasy romance in here, but only if the fantasy romance has like dark elements or it's smutty. That's kind of what this shelf is. Also, a lot of my favorites are on this shelf. So, ones I read over and over, authors I really like, that's kind of what goes on this one. But it is definitely more of my dark theme shelf, if that makes sense. You'll see in the other ones. I crocheted this little squid. Of course, we have our Sunny Angels. The first one, that this frog one's not a knockoff, but the one that's laying flat on its stomach, that's a knockoff. That's a dupe. And then I made this squid as well. And then I have these composition ones. I did a like 6-month group therapy program that I was in as a patient, as a client, and the journals are from that. So I kind of just keep that for reference. And then this is Counseling the Culturally Diverse, a textbook, couple textbooks on this shelf. Mostly spillover. A lot of these are from my first semester. And then The Artist's Way, which I did, and art therapy things as well. Of course, Lights Out. Couple lighter romances, but mostly the dark ones. I will say I love Lily Gold. I think I've read everything by Lily Gold, but I only purchased the paperbacks and the ones that I enjoyed. Because there's one, I think it's Faking for Benefits, or the Nanny one, that I didn't really enjoy. I read it on my Kindle, and I just let it live on my Kindle. I don't want it on my shelf because I'll never read it again. But I did like these two enough to get the discrete cover versions. And then I haven't read the fine print, but I feel like it just belongs with the darker covered ones. But yeah, I love Scarlett St. Clair. Love everything she puts out. Especially King of Battle and Blood. Love that one. Oh, don't even get me started on the Wolf King series. There's only 2 out. She's working on the 3rd one right now, so whatever. But so good. I could do a whole video on just those books. And then, of course, you can hate me if you want in the comments, but I'm a fan of Penelope Douglas. I have a lot of her books. Specifically, Birthday Girl, I've read like a jillion times. That's my favorite one. You can tell the spine's like cracked a billion times, but I also liked Misconduct as well. And then this is the next shelf. This one mostly holds, again, a couple textbooks. My books on like writing, because if you don't know, I'm actually in the process of writing a book. I've also written several fan fictions that have gotten over millions of views on Wattpad under my alias that you don't get to know, but I am working on an actual book, my debut romance novel, and I find these books helpful. So if you're a writer and you're looking for some suggestions, I suggest these ones. And then other things that are on the shelf are mostly like spirituality, religious based. I am not a believer in any specific religion, but I find it interesting to read what other people believe, and why, and kind of like around that realm. And then, of course, a lot of witchcraft stuff. And then we have a good little section on gardening in general, mostly because I have a fear that the apocalypse is going to happen, or something related to just like the Great Depression, and I'm going to need to know how to grow food. So I'm not currently growing anything, but these are my little figurines. I have a Fuggler, and then this little mushroom one that's also a collectible. My sister got it for me from Barnes & Noble, and I really like it. So yeah. Yep, I do have a Bible. I pick it up every once in a while when I want to learn about Christianity, but most of the time I keep these for reference here and there. I get curious. Oh yeah, and a lot of yoga stuff. Interpreting Dreams. That one's a fun one. Oh, and Living Life on Purpose. My grandma actually wrote this book. Shout out to my grandma. I think it was her first published book. But yeah, it's on Amazon if you want to get it. And then a lot of mediumship stuff. I had a phase where I was like trying to understand mediums. Still don't, but we're getting there. And then Wicca related books. I would say I align most with Wiccan stuff and maybe even pagan stuff. But that's just kind of where I'm at in my life at the moment. But I don't like to connect too much with anything. And then these are all my gardening things. And then my gardening log for when I gardened like one summer. I wrote out like what was where because I didn't use any labels. This is the next shelf. This one's like, if I had to pick the ugliest shelf out of all the shelves, it'd be this one. I don't have a lot of books on it. And that little bin on the left, you're not going to get to see, but it's mostly just holding like charger cords and sunglasses and stuff. Like there's not it's my ugly drawer or my ugly thing, my ugly shelf. This is also like the shelf that gets hidden by my door. That left side is covered by my door, so I hide things there that are ugly and I don't want people to see. These are from Book of the Month, and then this one is in Narrative Therapy. And then I have the entire series that True Blood's based off of. I have not made my way through it, but we're getting there, kind of. I've read the first one, kind of. Not even really. I gave up on it. So maybe we'll circle back around and read those, but I also have 50 Shades of Grey. I've read all of them. As you can tell, the first one's spine is cracked because I read it a couple times. Once when I first got it, and then a couple more times. I think I was going to do a video on it, and I ended up not doing it. But yeah, and then I crocheted this little cat with the scarf and a hat last Christmas, I think. So that's where he lives. Then this shelf holds all of my textbooks that are like more recent. So if you see that thick binder, that holds like all my syllabus stuff and degree requirement. And then like on the right side of it, those are all my textbooks that are current that I'm frequently grabbing and referencing for classes like I'm taking at the moment. And then everything on the left side is from last semester that I still grab for reference for work, but for the most part, I don't need to do weekly readings in, so they're kind of just sitting there. But there's a system. There's a system to this madness. The way I organize my textbooks are very based off of where I'm at in my semester, if they're old, if they're new, if they're current. So there is an organization to the chaos of all of these trauma-related books and therapy-related books. And then this shelf is all of my like contemporary romance, fun lighthearted romance, and then kind of like my classics go on the left side of this one because I don't know where else to put them. And then I have a couple non-fics in here, I think, but this is another collectible that my sister got me from Barnes & Noble. Love it. It's so cute. And then these are some of these books. These first couple ones I'm showing you I haven't read. Tender is the Flesh, I did read. That one freaked me out. And I do love A Little Life. But some of these classics I pick up and put back down. So we're working on getting through the classics. And then I have a very, very small poetry collection, as you can see. And then I have the first 3 Ice Planet Barbarian books. I did put the entire rest of the series on my Christmas list. So hopefully we will get them. I don't know where I'm going to put them, because if you don't know, this series has 21 books. So I have no idea where I'm going to put them, but if I do get them, but they are on my Christmas list. And then I have a lot of Emily Henry. I've actually read every single one of these. Beach Read was my least favorite. And I think my favorite was People We Meet on Vacation. And then, of course, the Twisted Love series. And then I've just started the King of... I don't know what the series is called, but I think it's Sinners. King of Sinners, King something. I read the first one. I still have to read the second one, and I think there's like 3 more. I also put those on my Christmas list, so hopefully we'll get the rest of the series. And then if you can't tell, I'm a Lucy Score fan. Got a couple of her books as well. And then the next shelf is my fantasy romance, dystopian shelf. I have not read these 2. They've been on my shelf for give or take 3 or 4 years, and I have not read them. So I'm thinking of getting rid of them, but every time I think of getting rid of them, I'm like, maybe I'll still read them. So I don't get rid of them yet, but tell me in the comments if I should read them or not. Haven't read The Prince of Dracula yet, or Broken Bonds, but I did read Court of the Vampire Queen. Super smutty. I need to read Poppy War. and also Fourth Wing. I just got Fourth Wing. And then Priory of the Orange Tree is also still on my list. That's just a really big one I can't commit to yet. And then I have the entire Twilight series, but I did get each one thrifted. So like none of them match except for the Midnight Sun. I had a friend who worked at, I think it was Target. When it got released, he put a copy aside for me. So God bless him. So I do have the hardcover, like released, you know, the day it was released kind of copy of that one, but the other ones are all thrifted or secondhand, so none of them really match. In they all look funky and different, like aging and different covers. So, and then I of course I have Akatar, which I haven't even finished. Don't even get me started. And then I have the Hunger Games series. Again, all of those are secondhand except for the newest Sunrise on the Reaping one. So they have like Goodwill and thrift book stickers on them. A lot of my books you'll see have those stickers, especially this last shelf, which is mostly a couple textbooks, and then you'll see the sections from left to right. It's leftover textbook, and then we've got a lot of crochet books in the center, and then to the right is all of my language learning material. Most of these are thrifted, like pretty much all of them. I don't think there's a single one on this shelf that's not thrifted. But yeah, leftover textbooks. A lot of play therapy stuff. And then we get into our crochet books. I have a lot of these. I've used almost every single one of them. A lot of these are vintage. I got some of these vintage ones off of thrift books. If you're ever looking for some like vintage crochet books, check out thrift books. Yeah. And then some of these are from like Joann's and Michael's, and I got gifted some of them for Christmas. And then we have Spanish learning books. I'm trying to learn Spanish. And also sign language, of course. I probably know the most sign language out of all these. Korean, Japanese, a lot of Korean stuff. And then French, of course. I took French in high school. But I also have this French version of Twilight to practice. And these little flashcards. Then we have what doubles as my nightstand and also the top of the second bookshelf. I got this candle from Hobby Lobby. It doesn't, oh no, it does have a scent. I was going to say it doesn't, but it does. It's lavender. And then this is my morning pages journal. And I usually stack my morning pages journal on top of whatever book I'm currently reading. So right now it's The Imposter Cure, which I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's a nonfic, and it was recommended to me by a professor. Not a required reading, but like a recommendation, especially in the field I'm going into. Imposter syndrome's huge, so it can be helpful. And I have found this book kind of helpful. I'm not done with it, and it's taking me forever, and I think that's just because I'm not a nonfic fan, but I'm liking it. And then we have my little trinket tray with all my pins, not all my pins, but all my rings are here. And then some pins that I'm too lazy to put away. And then this is my kindergarten graduation. I look at her every time I think about quitting education in school. I look at her, and I also remember how much I paid in tuition, and I keep going. And then I have these fun little candles. I got some of these like candle holders from antique shops. I got my favorite body spray, sound bowl. That tray is also from an antique shop. A lot of the stuff up here is from antiques in my downtown area. And the jewelry, too, is, like, old vintagey stuff. And then I got this cute little coaster. I don't remember where I got it, but it's a California coaster. That was my bookshelf tour, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said in the beginning, if you have any questions or you want to know my opinions on some of the books that I showed you, just comment down below and I will answer you in the comments. And if you guys want a deep dive on anything, let me know, and I will also make one of those videos. Other than that, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye!